if we're going fishing here, some names that you're catching, if you will.
Well, Morgan, my favorite long is a company called Upstart. It IPO'd last December. I was on the show in January, and I said then that I felt like Upstart could end up being the IPO of 2020, not Airbnb, not DoorDash, not Snowflake or one of these names. I'm sticking with that. The stock is basically 13x since the IPO. It's had a fantastic year. Hard to believe I'm going to argue that a stock that's 13x is still undervalued, but I think that's the case. This is an AI lending platform that partners with banks and credit unions, basically puts those banks and credit unions in touch with consumers who want a personal loan, and they're the matchmaker. They use their AI platform to do a better job with the FICO score, and then they get a referral fee for successfully putting folks together. And they've done a fantastic job. Last quarter, they reported that 71% of the time they're approving these transactions in a fully automated fashion. So their growth has been phenomenal. Their last quarter, they grew 1,000% over 2020 coming out of the pandemic. So even though the stock has, obviously exploded this year, a lot of the firms on Wall Street that cover Upstart, they're really caught off guard by this growth. Coming into this year, I went back and looked at the Goldman initiation report from January. They predicted Upstart was going to do $350 million in revenues this year, $480 million in revenues next year. They're going to do $750 million for this year, and that's probably sandbagged. And I think and Wall Street's only predicting that they're going to grow 33% into 2022. I don't think a company growing 1,000% is going to suddenly slow down to 33%. I think it's much more likely that they're again double the revenues next year. They do something like 1.7 billion, and eventually Wall Street will sort of update their models for 2022. And when that happens, the only name in fintech that's growing this, there are no names in fintech, public companies that are growing this fast. The nearest one is Afterpay, which just got bought by Square, and that trades at 24 times next year's revenues. So for a name like Upstart, I think it should trade at least 30 times next year's revenues. If they did, this should be a $600 stock, not a $260 stock or whatever it is today. So I still think there is a lot of room to the upside for a name like this, especially as they move just from personal loans into auto loans, which is 6x the size of personal loans.
And one that you already picked for us on this show, and it's been a great performer already. Eric, give us your other pick, which I think is a new one. If possible, just a bit quicker, because I've got one more follow-up question as well.
Yeah, sure. It's Generac. It's a company that's been around for a long time. They're the leader in home standby power generators for businesses and residences. Basically, when the power goes out from Ida or the next Texas ice storm, they basically, with natural gas, help to keep your house powered. They're the market leader. They're 75% of the market. They're sort of a bird like Zoom or Kleenex in the space. But they're going to have an investor day this month where they're going to talk about some recent acquisitions that they've made and how they're basically turning themselves into more of an industrial company, followed by industrial investors, to a solar and storage company that basically will allow you to be totally off the grid. I think you want to buy it ahead of the investor day. So that's one I really like.
And then just to round off, Eric, quickly, the 30th of June appearance, you recommended Lightspeed and Bombardier up 40% and 60% respectively since. So well done on those picks. Just quickly, selling those now after those nice runs?
No, they're still major positions for me. I still think the stories are just getting started. I think I said quick Wilf with you that Bombardier I see being a $20 stock in a few years from now. I stand by that. Delta coming back has shown what people want to fly private jets, or will have to fly private jets for even longer than maybe they anticipated. So I'm sticking with them.
Yeah, the business jet demand, the unexpected demand, I guess you could say, in terms of the Delta and coronavirus impact. Eric Jackson, some actionable names for investors to consider. Thanks for joining us today.